Yo, what's going on, man? Today is November the 2nd, 2024. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. It's a lot to talk about today, man. We'll get into a quick recap as we always do. We'll break the games down, go through a couple of the comments, and then I'm going to get ready to get up out of here. My son actually got soccer today, so that's why I scheduled the show for so early. Let's jump into it for today, man. Hit the like button for me if you can as you join, and let's jump into the games for today. I feel like I still got a lot of work to do. It's a humongous card. NBA has not done a great job of scheduling these games, man. It's so many games every single day. It's hard to really get through the full card, in my opinion. Like I've got to get used to it because WNBA has so many fewer teams. But needless to say, it's a ton of opportunity to make some money today. And that's what we're here for. So, like I said, hit the like button for me if you can. We'll jump into a quick recap. Yesterday, the best bet on the show was Minnesota first quarter. Ended up being a winner, sweaty winner. Denver probably plays their best first quarter of the season, but Minnesota does end up winning the first quarter, whether you got a 1 or 1.5. That was a winning bet. And then I also gave out Sacramento, Atlanta, which to my demise goes over by 1 point, under 237. It finishes at 238. Sacramento defense regressed just a tad bit, allowing Atlanta to shoot the ball. Atlanta defense continues to play like trash, but I still think the under was the right side. It just, like I said, it goes over by a point. They finished at 238. The type of luck that I'm having to start the season, but it's all good, man. It's all good. The other plays that I talked about in the Discord, I think all won yesterday too, but neither here nor there. Let's jump into a couple of the comments and get started on the board for today. I got about 40 minutes. What up, Derek? He says, what up, though, Chris in chat? Lions -2.5. He likes Jahmyr Gibbs for anytime touchdown today. Mark, always with the positive vibes. What's up, Mark? Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Prestigious Prodigy? Dropping dimes. Justin, all my guys. AOD, what's up? What's up, Time Out? He said, morning, boys. Glow says, how about them Pelicans? So glad I stayed off of that game, man. Boy, Pelicans out of nowhere. When I saw Andrew Nembhard got ruled out, I said, yeah, I'm staying far away from that game. Far away from that game. PZ says, top of the morning. He cashed that Wolves first quarter. Glad you cashed that one. What's up, David? He says, we visited an encounter today. That's always the goal. What's up, Helms? He says, NBA has been awesome to start this year. Not for me, Helms. Not as much for me, man. What's up, Ball Talk? DJ Propson here says, good morning, Chris. Ant went off once again last night. Think he's going for the scoring title by the end of the season. Yeah, remember he said in the I think it was like a preseason. It was before the season started. He said he was trying to get the MVP this year, shooting a ton of threes. Like he definitely got to pick up the offensive load a little bit more. Julius Randle is a pretty good scorer. I don't think he brings what Karl Anthony Towns did for the team. So yeah, that would not surprise me at all. Helm says Pelicans money line filled the Celtics last night. And all right, let's jump into it for today, man. First game. Well, before we talk about the first game, I know people are still signing up. I saw some signups yesterday. I get a notification when people do sign up for jaXon. I've been talking about this for, I think last Saturday was the first day I started talking about it. jaXon is the first of its kind. It's a AI, large language model optimized for sports betting, and for fantasy sports as well. Unlike typical chatbots, jaXon is specifically engineered with Pond Sports. If you guys aren't familiar, they're powerful tools to kind of deliver insight that go beyond the common public opinion. They tap into a gated data source that gives you an edge to help you out with player props, sides, totals, whether you're looking for injury update information, in-depth, player analysis. jaXon can deliver like up to the second research that could manually take you 30-45 minutes. So it's definitely big on time. It's definitely big on proficiency. So definitely check it out, man, if you guys are interested. There's a coupon code that's in the description of the video. Yesterday jaXon was right on a couple plays, and I actually looked ahead for today's game. I'll let you guys know what jaXon is thinking about a couple of these games for today. But sign up using the promo code ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's, if you are interested. Never cross your fingers again. Bet unfair with jaXon. It can create tables for you, arbitrage opportunities, live betting experiences, and it's only getting better. Like there's some upgrades. I've been talking with the guys over at jaXon. There's some upgrades that's happening to to speed it up and make it even faster. Like, it's a lot going on over there with jaXon, man. Definitely check it out if you guys have not yet. Let's jump into it for today. Get to my notes. This should say Saturday. Let's see. All right, here we go. Let's jump into it for today. First game up that I want to talk about is the Kings and the Raptors. This game is, I think it's the first game on the board for today. Let me just double check that real quick. And let's jump into it. So this is the second game on the board for today. One of the second games on the board for today. I'm not really interested in Boston versus Charlotte again. I didn't even really look too deeply into it. Boston won last night. They covered the spread. Charlotte offense struggled to score as I thought they would. And Charlotte team total did go under the 111.5 yesterday. Just really inefficient on the offensive end. Grant Williams had that hard foul on Jason Tatum. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Boston's still going to be pretty pissed and motivated to smash the Charlotte Hornets again, even with Brandon Williams back. So I stayed away from that game. Like, don't really want to lay 11 points with Boston. They could definitely cover. Could see Charlotte getting the backdoor cover. I'm not really interested in that one. Let's go to the Sacramento one, though. Sacramento will be in Toronto after playing in Atlanta last night. Second leg of a back-to-back for both teams. Injury report, Sacramento has a pretty clean injury report. For the Toronto Raptors, I did see that Quickly is listed as doubtful yet again. No Bruce Brown. Kelly Olynyk is going to be out for an extended period of time, and same with Scotty Barnes. They both will be out for the next couple games. So you got a 4th and 6 nights for Sacramento. You got a second leg of a back-to-back for Toronto as well. 4th and 6 nights for them, and a 5th game and 8 nights for the Toronto Raptors. Just kind of looking at the numbers when I was running this myself. I think it's really scary to play, and I've not been hitting no unders, but we'll make unders great again. They will be great again soon. I think it's an under game. I look at Sacramento. This has been like a strong under team, especially when they're unrested on the road. And I think that they're able to limit what Toronto does. Sacramento also has not been playing super fast. I know Toronto's been playing super fast. Their game with the Lakers flew up and over the total. The offense has been pretty good. But when I look at Sacramento, their defense has actually been pretty good. Could they let up, in a non-conference game on the road on the second leg of a back-to-back? Yes. And that's what scares me and why I didn't play it. But the Kings are 21-10 to the under in road games when they're unrested, going all the way back to the 2020 season. And I think like 9 of the last 10 have actually stayed under the number. I look at this situational spot specifically, unrested road favorites on a 3-game winning streak, which the Kings are now, facing an unrested team that's on a 4-game losing streak, which the Toronto Raptors are right now. And it's a play on the road favorite. It says that the Kings typically win about 53% and the under 55% on the under spot as well. So it's Sacramento minus the 7.5 here, or Toronto team total under would be my recommendations for this game. Under 112.5 for the Toronto team total. jaXon also likes Sacramento when I ran it this morning, minus 7.5. And jaXon also likes the full game under the 232.5 as well. So maybe you wait on this one and see. Maybe you wait on this one and see where the total goes, and maybe like some under money later. A lot of the public don't like. I feel like a lot of public bettors watch my show, and a lot of public bettors don't like taking unders, and I understand it. I get it. But those would be the ways that I look. If I just to give you guys a little bit more insight, Toronto, they struggle to shoot the ball. Like this is one of the worst 3-point shooting teams. Is why I kind of leaned Lakers first half yesterday as well. The Lakers got lit up by the Cavs because the Cavs shot the 3-point ball really well. Toronto shooting the 3-point ball the fewest of any team in the NBA right now. Only 29% of their shots are coming from 3. And they're shooting it at the 4th worst percentage. They're shooting 32% from the 3-point line right now. So Toronto likes to attack the rim. And guess who's number 1 in deterring rim shots? Sacramento Kings. They're number 1 in opponent rim frequency, only allowing teams to take about 26.5% of their shots at the rim so far. Toronto ranks number 2nd. They're number 2 in rim frequency. So you got a team that likes to attack the rim versus a team that doesn't give up a lot of shots at the rim. Also, when I look at the Kings transition defense, Toronto likes to get out and run. The 9th in offensive transition. Sacramento actually number 2 in taking away transition frequency. They don't allow teams to really get out and run. They're forcing teams to play in the half court. Toronto offense is the 8th worst in the half court so far this season. And the other thing, Kyle pointed this out when I was on his show the other day. You got a Toronto team that the only thing they are doing well on the offensive side is rebounding the ball. Offensive rebound, they're the number 1 offensive rated teams. They're getting 38.8% of their own misses, which is, that's astronomical. Number 1 offensive rebounding team. Sacramento actually doing a pretty good job of keeping teams off the glass, giving up the 7th fewest offensive rebounds so far this season. So I was thinking about a rebounding prop in this game. I don't really want to play on Sabonis, but I got on my short list looking at Keegan Murray. He's the 2nd best rebounder on this team for the Sacramento Kings, and I think he's averaging like 7. I didn't play it, but I did put him on the list. His rebound prop is 6.5 on DraftKings, -130, and that's the best price right now. So I did add Keegan Murray to the short list. Nothing else that I really liked in this game. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up, Damon? Glow says had Raptors +9. You definitely got a cover last night. Yeah, the Lakers not serious about winning games by double digits. Shout out to you, Glow. I just didn't want to fade the Lakers off 2 back-to-back losses the way that they did. I leaned Lakers first half. They were winning by 20 at the end of the first quarter. They get outscored by I think 18 at the end of the second half. So shout out to you, Glow, for cashing last night, bro. Christopher says, good morning, Chris. NBA has been problematic to start the year. If you're betting on sides and totals, I would agree with that. Real DJX says, good morning, Chris. Cash the Cavs, Lakers, and Knicks all first quarter. Helms like the Raptors +7.5 here. Mark says he's going to run it back with the Celtics. Justice says jaXon low-key called the Pacers game made me a believer. Yeah, man, that promo code is in the description of the video. Make sure if you sign up for jaXon, you can take a couple dollars off. 50% off to be exact. The Holiday says Favors did well yesterday. Hit a parlay with most of them. Pelicans did not. Pelicans was a dog. There's a couple other dogs too. Jerry says make unders great again. Unders gonna come back, man. I don't think. Here's my theory though. Like just real quick. Like this is gonna be like less than 20 seconds. I don't think unders coming back anytime soon. I think we saw the physicality like in the first 5-6 games of the season, and we saw teams like really have to learn how to play through contact because a lot of teams aren't shooting a bunch of free throws. Like NBA is not as soft as it used to be. So far, anyway, is what I was thinking. But that also could be like teams just trying to find their groove offensively, and now they're getting into those grooves. I also don't think that unders are going to be great again because with the in-season tournament coming up, it's all based on scoring. So that's when you want to take overs. I'm not taking a lot of unders in in-season tournament games, especially when you need those. You need to win by margin. Those margins come into play. Says can't lay 7.5 with the Kings away from home. So real quick to your point right here, Helms, because I was thinking the same thing. I want to share this with you real quick. I don't have it pulled up. I didn't write it down, but I did look into this real quick. All right, here you go, Helm. So since the 2021 season, started the 2021 season, you got the Kings on the road as a favorite, laying 5.5 or more. 15-3 straight up. 13-5 against the number, 72%. So they covered against the Hawks last night. Last year, they were in this spot against the Jazz. They won that game and covered. Last year, they were also in this spot against... Well, no, that was this year. Yeah, that was this year. So they're 2-0 against the spread as a road favorite so far this season, laying 5.5 or more. Last year, they smoked the Kings 107-77 in this spot. So 3 straight covers. They did lose to the Wizards outright. I remember that game. They beat the Raptors 123-89 last year in this spot. They were laying 11.5. So I understand what you're saying, but just know that they have been profitable in this spot over the last 4 or 5 years. I get it though. When you're looking at it at a glance and you haven't dug too deep. The Raptors also are like 5-1 against the number, so they have been feisty. Wouldn't surprise me if they ran out of gas here, being the 5th game in 8 nights though. Let's see. I agree with this, Jay Holiday. I think a little bit of it was OKC having a second leg of a back-to-back today, not as locked in on the defensive end. I think the game today probably goes under. All right, let's see. What else y'all liking in the comments before we get to the next game? Jay Holiday says Cavs. We'll talk about that one for sure. And no problem, Helms. What's up, Aaron? All right, let's jump into the next one. I didn't get a chance to go through a lot of these games, so we'll talk them out. Let you guys know what I'm kind of thinking about them. But let's go to this Memphis Grizzlies and Philadelphia 76ers game. I think this is the game that a lot of people like. It's going to be a lot of money, in my opinion, on the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot, and not sure if I can disagree with it at all. So last night yesterday when I'm going through the game, this total was about where it is now. I think everything was about where it is now. Maybe it moved. I can't remember. Anyway, get into an injury report real quick. So Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart are already ruled out. John Conchar is listed as questionable. Listed as doubtful, with a quad injury. And they still got the laundry list of players that didn't play in that Milwaukee game the other day. So Philly, I think Joel Embiid did practice yesterday, him and PG, but neither one of those guys are going to play in this spot. This for Memphis is the first road game after 4 straight home games, and it's a 4th game in 6 nights as well. I tried to back Memphis against Brooklyn. They couldn't score 118 points, even in a very advantageous spot against the Brooklyn Nets, who were coming off that overtime game. And then I tried to fade Memphis against the Milwaukee Bucks, and they look like world beaters. For the Philadelphia 76ers, they just are not good at basketball right now. This is the last of a 2-game homestand for them. They play in Phoenix on Monday, and they've yet to win a game at home. 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread so far. Their first loss came against the Bucks, and of course they lost to Detroit in this spot as well. The problem, if you look at Philly, in my opinion, is they can't shoot. They're making 28% of their threes, which is the second worst percentage in the league. They're also 28th in transition frequency, meaning that they're not getting out and running in transition. They actually run the 8th most plays in the half court right now, and they have the 2nd worst half court offense. Both the Grizzlies road games so far this season have actually shot up and over the total by average of 15.5 points, because I initially leaned it towards the under in this game, thinking that Philly plays really, really slow. I think they're 26th in pace. Memphis playing really, really fast, top 5 in pace. But Memphis played 2 home games so far. The Houston game went up and over the total. The Utah game went up and over the total. So if I'm playing this one, I'm only looking towards Memphis. I get it. Like Philly, 1-3, they're starving for a win. Memphis coming off of a really confidence boosting win. Going to be shorthanded on the road. It's a non-conference game as well, which is something that always scares me. For Memphis, this will be their 4th game, I think, of a 5-game non-conference streak of teams. Like every single team that the Memphis Grizzlies have played over their last 4 games, and I think they got the Brooklyn Nets next, are all non-conference games. And I talked about this before, but Memphis is one of those teams that they don't really I thought anyway that they didn't really care a lot about non-conference games, especially when they're on the road. I was like, man, I really don't want to play Memphis. It feels like a trap. I looked into it a little bit more though, and Memphis is actually 15-4 straight up and against the spread as a road favorite in non-conference games since the start of the 2021 season. So they've been great in this spot, 15-4 straight up and against the spread. I do think that they win the game. It's not like they have a great record. They're 3-3 right now. Other thing I wanted to mention was Ja Morant with no Desmond Bane and no Marcus Smart. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. He had a triple-double in his last game. I like Ja in this spot. Rebounds plus assists, I think it's 13.5. I don't think I want to get there with the points, but I do feel like he'll still be able to find his players and get everybody involved. He'll still be able to rebound the basketball. This Philly team outside of Drummond has not been the greatest rebounding team. Real quick to put some numbers with that. Philly is allowing the sixth most offensive rebounds right now. And they're allowing the sixth most offensive rebounds right now. So just not in good form right now are the Philadelphia 76ers. I do like the Memphis Grizzlies as square as it is. I like Memphis in this spot, minus the 2 in this game. And I do think the line will probably move as well, but we'll see. And I'd also be playing under, but like I said, both of the Memphis games have actually gone over the total a little bit. Philly offense scored 95 points against Detroit. So I know, Memphis should be able to lock them up as well. We'll see how that part goes, though. Let's see. Papa Joe says, Chris, what's good, brother? What's good, chat? Top of the morning to you, bro. DJ Prop says, I like the Boston and Charlotte game to go under. Actually don't expect the Hornets to get to 100 today. Defense should be focused after the sorry foul on Grant Williams. And I would agree with that, Prop. I think, like I talked about, Charlotte offense is just so inconsistent. And that's why I liked the under yesterday. I probably should have just got there with their team total under. It was a sweaty bet, but it did cash. One thing, when I think about that game, one thing I wanted to look at was how do the Hornets do? Matter of fact, let's look at it right now. So how the Hornets do when they're playing, one of these back-to-backs. I'll pull it up real quick. All right, so if the Hornets are playing against the same team they previously played within the 3 days since the 2020 season, and they didn't cover in game 1, they're 2-5 straight up, 2-5 against the number, and they're 5-2 to the over. Though the second game is going over by average of 7.5 points. That says to take the Celtics in this spot. It says to take the Celtics team total over as well. Let's see. So this has happened 7 times. 5 of their opponents have actually gone over their team total if they didn't cover in game 1. If I look at the Celtics in this spot, and let's just go 2020. Let's just go last year for the Celtics. If they're playing the same team and they did cover in the first game, hold on, I got to make sure this is regular season because their playoff stuff will pop up where the Charlotte Hornets ain't been in the playoffs. So it looks like the Celtics have only been in this spot twice. I want to extend it just a little bit. They've been in this spot 5 times. I remember those games against the Magic versus the Heat. So last year they had the Pacers in this spot. They lost the second game. Remember that 131-133. They beat the Magic in this spot 114-97. They beat the Raptors in this spot and covered that game as well, 121-102. And they beat the Hornets in this spot 130-118, January the 16th, 2023. So this was a spot against the Hornets where they did come out, the game went over, and they were able to light the Hornets up even in that second game as well. So yeah, it looks like their offense has no problem scoring at all. The only time they went under was against the Magic in this spot. So glad you brought that up, Prop. That's a little bit of extra insight for you there. We're going to get to this game in a second, Jay Holiday. What's up, Aaron? Appreciate you for tapping in. Helm says total feels high in this one, under a pass, and I agree with that. Justin says 76ers should trade Embiid to my Hawks since he talking. Man, if they trade him to the Hawks, you'd be upset because he'd never play. I don't know when you see him. Have to come to the practices to see Joel Embiid. He don't ever play in games no more, man. What's good, Sean? Top of the morning to you. Mark says, seems like the 76ers are a mess right now. Embiid in the city falling out of love. Yeah, it looks bad right now. Reem says, I want to bet the Grizzlies. Just seems too easy. And I agree with that. It do seem really easy, but I definitely can't trust Philly. Helm says he likes Kyle Lowry in this spot over 6.5 points at plus 100. Couldn't talk you off. I didn't look into player props in this game specifically though. All right, I didn't make graphics for the rest of the games. I want to talk a couple of them out there. I got about 20 minutes with you guys. So let's jump into the rest of them. Y'all let me know which ones y'all want to talk out in the chat. I'll give you my notes on them and then we can deep dive them a little bit more as well, especially if you got questions about them. Let's go to this Cleveland and Milwaukee game first though, because this is a game that I'm pretty interested in. If there's another game that you want me to talk about, like let me know. I got all of them right here. Just let me know which ones you guys want to talk about. Cleveland and Milwaukee seems super easy to take Cleveland in this spot. Another game that it feels super easy to take Cleveland in. And I can't. I'm not taking the Bucks, I'll tell you that. So the total, so Cleveland actually opened 3.5 point favorites. It's down to 2, you know, as we all kind of expect. This Cavs team is absolutely balling right now. This is the second of a home road back-to-back. 4th game in 6 nights for the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. Whereas the Bucks, they are coming off 1 day's rest. A one-off home game for them after 3 straight road games. And this is it's a rematch of this game actually on Monday. These two teams will play in Cleveland on Monday. For the Bucks, 4 straight non-covers, 4 straight losses, all by double digits. The Bucks have lost 4 games in a row by double digits, starting with that game against every game outside of playing against the Philadelphia 76ers. Head-to-head, these two teams did split last season with the winner covering the spread in each game. The totals were 3-1 to the under. I'm not I have no idea why we don't just take Cleveland in this spot. I know it's like, I get it. Second leg of a back-to-back. They had to travel. Not a long travel from Cleveland to Milwaukee, though. It is a 4th game in 6 nights, but can you touch the Bucks right now? There's no way I can touch the Bucks right now, man. I don't even feel like I need to really look too much into the game. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the thing that stands out to me is these two teams going in totally opposite directions. If I look at Milwaukee defensively, they've been a shell of themselves. Like, they just look old, they look slow, they're not rotating at all. Let's put some numbers to that real quick. All right, so you got a Cleveland offense that's number 3 in points scored per 100 possessions. They're shooting the ball better than the Boston Celtics right now. Overall, they're number 1 in effective field goal percentage, shooting 61.3%. They're not turning the ball over, 9th fewest turnovers, and the Bucks actually forced the 2nd fewest turnovers anyway. So it's not like the Bucks out here playing defense. The Bucks are giving up the 4th most points scored per 100 possessions. Opponents shooting top 10 in effective field goal percentage, and yeah, that's enough about that. The Bucks offensively, they're last in offensive rebound percentage. So even Brook Lopez and Giannis not getting any offensive rebounds. They're the 6th worst offense right now as far as points scored per 100 possessions. Cleveland is attacking the rim. They're 9th in frequency. They're 8th in rim accuracy. The Bucks defense is 4th in frequency. So they're doing a good job of allowing teams not to get to the rim. But when they get to the rim, they're shooting 69%, which is bottom 10 for the Bucks defense. The Cleveland Cavaliers also, getting up a bunch of threes. They're 13th in all 3 frequency. They're shooting the 3-point ball at the 3rd highest percentage, 41%. The Bucks defense, middle of the pack, about 14th, allowing teams to shoot about 37% from the 3-point line. I don't know, man. I'll keep going. Let's see. So we look at half court. Cleveland is running the 3rd fewest amount of plays in the half court. I'm sorry. My apologies. The Cleveland Cavaliers are scoring the 3rd amount of points in the half court per play, 104.5. The Bucks are 19th at how many points they're allowing in that specific spot. And Cavs also scoring the most points in points per possession in transition as well, and the Bucks giving up the 2nd most. I mean, it's just I don't see a path to why. I get it. I feel like it's a gift though. The books are kind of giving us Cleveland. I think if you don't want to play Cleveland for a game, maybe you think the Bucks have something and keep swinging. Maybe the Cavs run out of gas late. Cavs first half over full game, maybe I can see that being the look as well. There's no way I'm touching the Bucks though. There's no way I'm touching the Bucks in this spot. That's enough of this one. Let's see what y'all saying about this. Chandler Cash yesterday with Minnesota first quarter. Dropping down says heavy lean towards the Bucks. First half team total under 57.5. The Cavs starters barely played any minutes last night. And just looking at the small sample size, when the Cavs start great, it's usually their defense that's the catalyst. And I would absolutely agree with that. If we look just at first half number, I'm going over to the good old moneyballer.com. There's a promo code for that in the description of the video for people that are interested. If I look at this game specifically from a moneyballer perspective, and I look at the situational trends, I'm gonna tell you guys the first half ATS numbers here in a second. I know it's really good for the Cavs. The Cavs are 6-0 against the spread in the first half. 6-0. The Bucks are 2-3 against the spread in the first half. Overall, the Bucks are 1-4. The Cavs are 5-1. I'm sorry. First half, the Cavs are 5-1 against the number. 6-0. They've covered every spread so far this season, whereas the Bucks are 1-4 against the spread. Looks super easy. I don't care how easy it looks. I'm taking the Cavs minus the 2. I may even take the first half too. Let's see. Ogie says he wants to talk about Houston and Golden State. We can do that. Reem says, pray for me. I'm taking the Bucks. All right, so it looks like we'll do Houston Golden State. Mark says, yeah, that Minnesota first quarter was good last night. Thanks, Chris. He did add that. What's your opinion on Houston Golden State over 217.5? I think the total is a little bit too low, Chris. Man, I haven't like dove into that, but that total being that low really was interesting to me. I still feel like Golden State gonna play fast. I know they're on the road, coming off back-to-back home wins against the Pelicans. Dropping down says Cavs opponents 4-1 to the under in the first half on their team total. DJ Prop says, can we talk about Miami and Washington leaning over 224.5? I would agree with that. So it looks like, yeah, we'll jump to those. Agree with Lyric. Right now, I don't ban teams. I think ban is like, when you're banned, you never get access again. Like not later this season, later this month, next year. But they on the top shelf, like the old shoes that you never wear. Or like that seasoning that you never use. That's what the Bucks at, in my opinion. All right, so let's go back. Tomorrow, real quick, says this seems too easy. I'd rather just hope the Cavs lose so I can bet the house on them in the rematch on Monday. I can see that as well, dropping down tomorrow. I could definitely see that. Let's go back to the game. I think it was 2 spots that you guys wanted to talk about real quick. The first one, let me see if I can find the comment. Oh, I see Thunder and Clippers on here too. This is the first one that I saw though. Houston and Golden State. Somebody asked about the total as well. Then we'll go Washington real quick. So Houston Golden State. Houston Golden State. You got Houston. You got a Golden State. So this line was. I thought this line was absolutely crazy. The first thing that stood out to me was that the line was actually, it touched 6 yesterday. Money's coming back. Well, came back in overnight on Golden State to push it back down to 5.5. And I want to say that's where it's at right now. I just want to double check it. Yes, it's actually 5 now. So some money coming in on Golden State to cover. Total 217.5. Looks like that's consensus everywhere. So injury report, we know that Golden State will be without Steph Curry. I did see that Wiggins, I think, is going to return in today's game. Well, I think he returned the other day, but he was listed as questionable and got upgraded. I think he will play. So Steph is out. Wiggins is listed as, he's probable. It looks like Wiggins will play in this game. On the opposite side for the Houston Rockets, I think the injury report was pretty clean. Steven Adams listed as out for Saturday's game due to a right knee injury. So you got a Golden State team coming off 2 days rest. Only loss came against the Clippers. and back-to-back wins versus the New Orleans Pelicans. Like I said, two really strong defensive games for the Golden State Warriors. They've hit a ton of threes as well against the New Orleans Pelicans. For Houston, one day's rest, we were on the right side with the Houston Rockets against the Dallas Mavericks the other day when they were getting +7. And this is their first game back home after a long road trip. So there's a couple different ways I think about this game. First off, the spread almost indicates that you should take Houston. And hear me out. Here's the reason why. When I was looking at the game last night, the Warriors have actually beaten the Rockets, I think 13 straight times. No, I'm sorry, not 13. 10 straight times at least. Every single time. They've beaten them 10 straight times, and they've covered five straight spreads, have the Golden State Warriors. Now, a lot of those games had Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, and neither one of those games in this game will have neither one of those guys. This kind of feels like Houston should be able to, they've been owned by this franchise for such a long time that kind of makes me lend myself to a Houston ticket. Also, if we think back to last season, it was the Golden State Warriors who ended the Houston Rockets' dreams of being even, in the playoffs. Making that play-in tournament game. Remember Golden State? I vividly remember Golden State going into Houston and winning that game, and they were celebrating and doing all that stuff. Now you got a Rockets team that's looked a lot better recently. Not a team that I want to lay a ton of points with, and I know Golden State, strength by numbers, they'll find a way to keep it close and muck the game up. But I kind of feel like it's a Rockets spot, man. I really, really do. Real quick, if we look at the Rockets last season as a home favorite, this was their role. They finished 16-4 straight up, 14-5-1 against the number last season as a home favorite. When they were a home dog, totally different thing. 11-10 straight up, 13-8 against the number. They were just a really good home team. What I like about the Rockets this season is, I mentioned this when I was talking about the game the other day, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but the Rockets defense, specifically at the three-point line, has been really, really good. I talked about this when they were playing against the Dallas Mavericks. One of the things that I liked about the Rockets was that they do a really good job of running teams off the three-point line. So we know Golden State wants to shoot a ton of threes. They're 4th in frequency. They're 7th in accuracy, shooting about 38.5% from the three-point line. The Houston Rockets, I think they were number 1 before the Dallas game. They're number 2 right now in above the break three frequency for their opponents, allowing the teams just to take 31.7% of their threes shots from the three-point line. So this is a team that really runs you off the three-point line. Golden State doesn't want to attack the rim. They're 21st in rim frequency, 20th in paint frequency, 24th in mid and long mid-range shot, and 25th in all mid-range shots. All they want to do is shoot threes. They're 6th in frequency in the corner three, 7th in above the break three, 4th in overall threes. And that's where, you really see, the Houston Rockets really lock in on the defensive end. They're 3rd in corner three frequency for their opponent, 5th in above the break three frequency, and like I said, 2nd overall in frequency. So I'm not sure how Golden State's going to be able to score the ball. They're going to have to put some pressure on the rim. But even then, the Rockets defense has been really, really solid. They're actually 5th in defensive frequency in opponent points scored per 100 possessions. They're 6th in opponent effective field goal percentage. They're forcing teams into turnovers at the 5th highest rate so far this season. I like the Rockets defensively, man. I really, really do. They're also forcing teams to run 7%, run their offense in the half court. Golden State has done a really good job of getting out and running so far this season. They're actually number 1 in play percentage run in the half court. So they've been the number 1 fast break team. They're number 2 in transition frequency. But the Rockets defense is pretty good. They're 7th in opponent frequency in transition, and they're forcing teams to run the seven most amount plays in the half court. So teams are not really getting out and running at all. I like the Rockets, man. I do like the Rockets. I guess I also, just kind of talking it out and looking at the numbers a little bit more, like the under too. If I switch it real quick and just see if the Golden State defense is going to be able to slow down this Houston Rockets offense, which has gotten off to a pretty slow start. What do I get? Golden State, number 2 in defensive efficiency right now. Number 2 in opponent point score per 100 possessions, giving up about 97.9. Number 2 in opponent effective field goal percentage. They're forcing the third most turnovers. The Rockets take care of the basketball. They give it up at the 8th fewest rate. And let's see. It looks like the Rockets are 7th in rim frequency. So they do like to get to the rim, but they're not shooting the ball well. They're shooting third worst percentage at the rim. Golden State's defense has been really good at the rim. 5th in frequency, 2nd in opponent rim accuracy. Houston also really struggling to shoot the 3-point ball, 22nd in 3-point accuracy right now. Golden State, number 1 in opponent above 3-point percentage from above the break 3 and overall 4th in corner 3 percentage. So this game does scream under to me. It also screams, hold on, let's keep going. All right, so we get in the half court. Houston also really getting out and running. They run the 5th fewest plays in the half court, but they're not scoring a lot in the half court. They're actually, their offense is 26th in half court points per play. Golden State only giving up the 2nd fewest half court points per play, behind only the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are giving up like 66 when I looked at it last night. Like, their defense had been astronomical before that game last night. Yeah, so this game screams under to me. Real quick, if I go back to Moneyball and I just check out the pace. Let's see. And then we'll get into that Warriors game real quick. If I'm looking at pace real quick, Warriors 12th in pace, Rockets 25th in pace. Typically the home team dictates the pace in most games. So with no Steph, no Milton, yeah, I think I like the under a little bit more than anything else. Maybe a Warriors team total under. What's the Warriors team total? Now y'all seeing how I live cap the games. I haven't done this in a while. Golden State team total is, Jesus, it's low. 107.5. It looks like it's the best number on ESPN Bet. Write that down. Golden State team total under 107.5. I just don't think they're gonna be able to shoot the 3-point shot. I think they will struggle. I think Houston's transition defense will be good enough to slow down Golden State, and they won't be able to get out and run in transition either. And like I said, they've been owned by the Warriors. They've lost to the Warriors. A million times in a row. I'm trying to pull up the exact number real quick. Team equal Rocket, opponent team equals Warriors. Jesus. All right, it looks like let's see. All right, I gotta hurry up and get to the next game. Yeah, so it's been the last time the Rockets beat the Warriors was February the 20th, 2020. So it's been 13 straight times that they've lost, and now they're the actual favorite. Yeah, that goes way beyond Ime Udoka. That goes way beyond Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks. Like, yeah, it's a little bit different in this game. I like the team total under for the Warriors, and I like the Rockets in this spot. As hard as it is to fade the Golden State Warriors right now, that's how I would look in this game. Appreciate you for calling this one out, Oki. Let's see. I know y'all probably said a lot. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Let's see. Let's go. We'll go 76ers real quick. Not 76ers. We'll go Wizards real quick, and then I got to get up off of here. Tomorrow got a trend for us here. So I was looking at previous team won as an away dog, and their previous game, they're coming off a divisional game, and now they're a home favorite. And it looks like the line is greater than or equal to 5. And the line is so it's a very specific line. Let's see what we got. Is greater than or equal to. Oh, I just added the extra. Let's see. This says fade the Rockets. So you're laying 5. So it's a very, very specific line. Very specific line between 5 and 6.5. Says that those teams don't play well coming off a win as a dog in a divisional game. And now they're a home favorite. Only covering about 61% of the time. And those games go over 91 and 73 to the over about 55% of the time. And it's a lot of overs. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you like this trend, you don't like the Rockets and you don't like the under. I like the Rockets in the under though. 217 is a tad bit too low for my blood though, but yeah, I'm with you. Tomorrow says tough to fade the Rockets at home though, and I agree with that. What's up, Cal? Yeah, Helms Curry not playing. DJ reminding everybody hit the like. Helms says Rockets have been selling in second halves. Hornets game lives rent free in my head whenever I cap this team. That was the first game of the season. No, Helms, you got to give him a little bit of slack on that. But I understand. I do understand. If you're looking at trends for first half, first quarter, going back to Moneyballer, the Warriors are 4-1 against the spread overall. The Rockets are 3-2 against the spread overall. Nothing really stands out to me too much. The Warriors are 4-1 to the under. So they have not had a game go over yet this season. And the Rockets also 4-1 to the under so far this season as well. Opponent team totals, Warriors 4-1 to the under on their team total in the first half. The Rockets 4-1 to the under on their team total in the first half. Warriors have held 4 of their 5 opponents under their team total. The Rockets have held all 5 of their opponents under their team total. I do not think I noticed that. Shout out to moneyballer.com. Let me see that real quick. Hold on here now. How I missed that? Rockets 4-1 to the under. Yeah, they held the even with losing to the Hornets in the opening game, they held the Hornets under their team total by 1 point. Held the Grizzlies under their team total by 3 points. The Spurs under their team total by 1.5 points, even though they lost that game. Held the Spurs under their team total by 7.5, and then last game held the Mavericks under their team total by 14.5. So yeah, they are 5-0. Their opponents are 5-0 to the under on their team total. That makes me like the Warriors team total under, like I said, at 107.5 a lot more. All right, cool. Let's jump into one more real quick, and then I got to get ready to get up off here. I think it was Wizards that people wanted to talk about. Wizards versus somebody mentioned the Wizards game. I think it was DJ Props. Let's see if I can find the comment real quick. Here we go. Can we talk Miami, Washington, leaning over 224.5? So let's talk Miami, Washington. Washington just took my money first and foremost against the Atlanta Hawks. They were home dogs in that spot. I think they were getting like 4.5. I bet it at 4, and they won that game all right. Atlanta is just bad though. They were 0-4 against the spread in that spot. They would go home last night. They don't cover another spread. So Atlanta, Going into that game, they were 0-4. That made them 0-5. Last night, they're 0-6. The Atlanta Hawks are picking up right back where they left off last season. This was the least profitable team against the spread, and they continue just to. I think they're the only team so far that hasn't covered the spread. I think Denver covered last night, so Denver's off that snide. But yeah, they haven't covered the spread all season so far. The only team to not cover a spread so far, and I should have known better. But anyway. Now you get Miami first road game after 2 straight home games, back-to-back non-covers, and they did lose outright to the New York Knicks. And this line opened at 7.5 yesterday. It quickly got shot up to 9. Then I saw it move to 9.5, and now it looks like right now 9.5 is still a consensus. Total has come down from 225.5 to 224.5. For Washington's second straight home game, back-to-back wins and covers against the Atlanta Hawks. And they host Golden State on Monday due to Washington Wizards. So if we look at the injury report real quickly, we got Saddiq Bey, Malcolm Brogdon, and Kyle Kuzma all listed as out. On the opposite side, Duncan Robinson will not be playing in this game. He is out for personal reasons, and it looks like Kevin Love is still going to be out as well. So when I think about the Miami Heat, I think about this team like, I don't want to lay a bunch of points with them in any spot. I think that they are astronomically better than the Washington Wizards. I do think that the Wizards just kind of, I think the Wizards suck, if I'm being honest. And I think if I want to play this game, I want to take the Miami Heat early. The back door can be left open. We saw it yesterday with, a big spread like this between the Raptors and the Lakers. But I do think Miami coming off that loss, I'm not sure how motivated they'll be in this spot, but anytime they're coming off a loss, I typically like to play on them in the next game. One thing that I was looking at yesterday in this game specifically was I remember last year when they played in DC. I think it was on a Saturday as well, and they won that game March 31st, 2024. They won that game 119-107. Total was 214.5. It ended up being a push because they were laying 12 points in that spot, and that game was also played in DC. The Heat came out and won the second half more so than the first half. It was 29-29 at the end of the first. They won the second quarter by 7, though, 37-30. So being that they, I just can't gauge the motivation for Miami. Can they win? Yeah. Should they win? Yeah. Do I want to lay 9 with them? Absolutely not. As far as the total in the game, if I go to Moneyballer and I just look at pace numbers, let's just go to pace real quick. If I look at pace numbers, Heat playing at the second slowest pace. Wizards playing at the second fastest pace. That does not make me want to play the total at all. So it's really going to come down to shot efficiency, in my opinion. And you look at effective field goal percentages, the Heat struggle, 21st in effective field goal percentage. Wizards, 18th in effective field goal percentage. Neither one of these teams are, going to light the scoreboard up. So I kind of feel like the total is appropriate. I can see it going over a little bit. I can see it going under. Yeah, I don't like this game. I do not like this game. What I will say is the Wizards have been getting smoked in the first half. Going back to what I said, they're 0-4 against the spread in the first half are the Wizards. And the Heat are 3-1 in the first half. So, yeah, like I said, I like the Heat early. I think that they can get the job done, cover like a 5. I think they have could have a double-digit lead in the first half. The Wizards are also 4-0 to their first half team total under as well. They have not been able to score the ball in the first half, and then their offense kind of picks up afterwards. The Heat defense has been playing a little bit better early in games rather than for the full games. Their opponents are 3-1 to the under on their team total in the first half. So Wizards team total first half, or probably just looking at the Heat to have a, maybe an 8-9 point lead at the end of the first half. Don't know if they cover though. And yeah, those would be my quick thoughts on that game. And that's all I like. That literally, I haven't made a bet yet, but Cavs -2 is a spot that I really like a lot. this Houston and Golden State game. As we kind of talked that out, I wrote down Golden State team total under 107.5. I like that number. The Memphis game, I'm not sure how I don't get to Memphis. I know that those are square plays, but square plays cash as well. Remember, I said jaXon likes Memphis. jaXon likes the under in the Memphis and Philly game. jaXon also likes Sacramento minus the 7.5, and they like that full game under as well. I think the best number you can get is 233.5, but it looks like it's still going up. So shop around, wait until you absolutely want to play it. That's the time that I got for you guys today. Like I said, my son got soccer, so I got to go get ready, get him ready, and we got some soccer today. Super excited for that. So that'll be the show for today. Couple things that I did not. I think a couple things that I don't even think I got to, but some things that I just kind of had on my short list. We talked about Memphis and Cleveland. I didn't add Golden State team total under on here or Houston minus the points. But that's probably something that I'm probably going to end up getting to the window, but I don't think I need to do more research there. Portland and Phoenix, I think, goes under tonight, 223.5. It's a terrible spot for Portland. Offensively, I think they run out of gas. But I do think that they continue to play slow. It's a 5th game in 7 nights for Portland with travel in that back-to-back, of course, coming from home to going to Phoenix. I also like Utah, Denver to go under. The best number right now is 220.5. Utah just literally can't score the basketball. Denver's offense plays slow. Utah's offense has been playing slow, not laying 10.5 points with Denver, but Utah has absolutely been atrocious as well. They probably end up covering in this spot. Lloyd Markkanen, I don't think is going to play, so I do like that game to go under 220.5 as well, but got a little bit more digging to do in that one. And that's what I'll leave you guys with for today, man. Resources, as always, that I use to handicap the games are here. Check them out if you're interested. Definitely check out these these discount codes. All of them is linked in the description of the video if you guys are interested. And that'll be the show for today. If you're still watching, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, share the show, spread the word, like it, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. Link for all my official plays when I do make them is in the description of the video, as it always is. Appreciate you guys for coming on and just kind of talking the games out. Clearly, I haven't done all the homework that I need to do for these games, but we still can make it a profitable Saturday. It's tons of games, tons of ways to get paid. I appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Enjoy your Saturday. Catch you guys in the next one, man. I'm out.